Well, I became a Christian when I was 19 years old. And for a number of years, Christmas was a very lonely time of year because I was in college. I'd go home for the holiday, but I didn't celebrate Christmas with my family because they were Jewish, and I didn't feel comfortable going to the Catholic church that was in our neighborhood. So I just felt very alone. I think a lot of converts have that time of loss where I hadn't entered the Catholic Church yet. I was sort of in this in-between phase where I didn't have a Christian family. All the Christians I knew, they were home with their parents and their families. So it was very lonely. It took me, since I didn't come into the church as a child, it took me a while to really get an appreciation or acceptance to Santa Claus and things like that. I always was thinking that if you teach your kids about Santa Claus and then they grow up and they realize that Santa Claus isn't quite who you said he was, how are you going to say, but Jesus is real? So that was a problem with me. How do I separate one from the other? But I've come to appreciate like breakfast with Santa that we have for the kids in our church school. But that was very painful at first because I was sort of out of my element. A lot of people sort of conflate Hanukkah and Christmas. Hanukkah isn't a Jewish Christmas. I would explain to Catholics that Hanukkah is a miracle, like Jesus turning the water into wine is a miracle, but the Catholics don't make that into a major holiday. Then Hanukkah sort of got pushed into being this holiday out of proportion to what it really was in the book of Maccabees, just so that the kids didn't get left out there. It was nice having Christmas with my children, because I remember when I was a child, I was very self-conscious of celebrating Hanukkah instead of Christmas. And there were years when, if Hanukkah fell way before Christmas on the calendar, I may have gotten a really good gift that I really liked for Hanukkah, but I'd be afraid to tell my friends at school until after Christmas came, because then they'd know that I was Jewish and I didn't feel like being different. I like that my kids now, they're able to experience Christmas with everybody else. There is something to be said about being in a community and liking that. And the tradition of putting up a tree and opening up the gifts and hanging the stockings and going to church on Christmas morning, and just seeing the excitement on the kids' faces. That's one thing, no matter what I'm doing in life, if I could see smiles on people's faces, that makes my day. Hopefully the people are able to find a welcoming church that will understand that someone maybe doesn't have an extended family to spend Christmas with. I know I was afraid to look out for that when I was a kid, but and hopefully the churches out there do have an outreach for people that may have just come into the faith and they're on their own. That's partly our responsibility to look out for them too.